Welcome to today's EMBN show, and we're in the capital of the Scottish Highlands with Danny MacAskill. Wow, Danny, you've been pretty busy the last few years. Lots of trials projects, mountain biking. The film, if you folks haven't seen it, The Slabs, is truly incredible. Sure. Yeah, so busy time, right?
Yeah, it's been somewhere in between. I mean, obviously the last 2 years have been slightly strange, one with travel restrictions and all that kind of thing, but I've definitely found other things to fill my time, that's for sure.
Yeah. So, hey, listen, let's talk e-mountain bikes. Now, it's 2 years since Santa Cruz, you launched the Heckler with Santa Cruz. The bike's had a fair bit of use by the sounds of it, right?
Yeah. I mean, I was kind of pestering Santa Cruz, to be honest, to kind of make an e-bike, because I knew, even without really riding them, I knew it was going to be something that it was going to just really suit what I was into up in the Highlands here. You know, there's a lot of really hard terrain, steep, technical, tricky climbs that on the mountain bike, you know, half the time you're having to walk up to the top of to get the descent. So with the Heckler, that's kind of opened this whole new world to me, and I've just been out in the trails every single day. You know, literally every day since I've got the Heckler. Every single day I'm out doing like the best rides of my life. So
it's obviously had an impact on your schedule then, right? Like massively.
Yeah. I mean, for years and years I would be out every single day riding my trials bike, which I'm still doing pretty regularly. But you know, since the whole COVID thing, I've spent a lot more time out of the city. You know, I was living around Aviemore. I was living in North Wales for a while as well.
North Wales?
Yeah, a place called Myford. My friend Robbie, wow. He lives around there, and we actually had to become Welsh residents for 6 months while we lived there. You know, so we could live there legitly, and yeah, I loved it. I mean, again, every day I was out riding the Heckler. I was riding with like Cade Edwards and Chaos and Tanny and all our pals down there. So it was just a great time.
So I mean, folks, we got a video which we've done up in the Highlands, but which kind of gives a taste of what Danny does. But tell us about the type of rides you do in your Heckler.
I mean, for me, the best kind of riding is the kind of big, epic rides. You know, the kind of rides that I would say on the mountain bike you're doing, like, you know, if you do once or twice a year, you're kind of like, oh, that was cool. Whereas I'm trying to go out and do those kind of rides, you know, once or twice a week. You know, trying to get up onto the top of the biggest hills you can. I mean, I'm lucky living up here in Inverness. We've got the whole west coast of Scotland, about an hour and a half away. I also got the Isle of Skye where I'm from, and there's just all this unexplored terrain to go and look at and just see where the trails go, you know. So it's really
and of
good.
course, we talk about Skye because you've got that amazing rock gabbro. It's like sandpaper. It's like I think that's a great part of that landscape, right?
Yeah, for sure. The gabbro is amazing stuff to ride on. That was the slabs that I rode in the film. That
insanely scary.
Was it 2 years ago now? Maybe, or a year ago, something like that. Yeah. But you know, that kind of steepness of riding just wouldn't be possible if it wasn't on that rock. So
yeah. So what's been the feedback from the fans in terms of you riding an e-mountain bike?
Well, it's been pretty funny. There's a lot of comments, especially kind of on your classic sort of bike websites, where they're like, "Oh, Danny's just riding it because Santa Cruz want him to ride it, ride the Heckler and all that kind of stuff." But I wouldn't say it's the opposite. I mean, obviously Santa Cruz are pleased that I've really sort of adopted the Heckler, as you could sort of say. But I mean, for me, I would go as far as to say it's completely changed my life in some ways. It's changed where I want to live. It's meant that I could live in like rurally. It's definitely changed the sort of feeling of needing to have mountain bike trails from my doorstep. Before I was happy to drive like an hour, you know, once every sort of fortnight to go ride my mountain bike with my pals.
Yeah. No, that's wasting time. You need to go straight out the door.
Well, yeah, now I need to go out riding. I want to go on a proper ride in the Heckler every day. And cool thing about it is I can also I ride a big ride in the Heckler every day, but then I can also still go and have a great ride on the trials bike as well.
What's been the effect of, has there been an effect of your fitness riding an e-bike? Is there like a crossover? And, you know, obviously trials is a very physical game, isn't it? But I mean, so too can mountain biking. How's it been like in terms of that?
I would say, for me, my fitness is definitely, I'm fitter than probably I've felt in years. You get off the e-bike and get onto the trials bike and you literally feel like you can rip the handlebars off it. You know, I'm hopping as high as I've ever been able to hop. And I'd say, like, I used to ride my trials bike, you know, 6 days a week, at least 2 hours a day. Not training, I don't do anything that I call training. I just ride because it's fun. It's just what I enjoy doing. It just like, I just go out and play around. But I've found that the e-bike's softer on my body than the trials bike. So I've actually kind of got less niggly injuries, but I'm still keeping sort of mentally fit as well. It kind of keeps you really just sharp. And there's nothing quite like getting to the bottom of trails, you know. It's like, trials bike's fun, but it's more like going for a jog for me. You don't really get any adrenaline on the bike, whereas I find the Heckler just a total endorphin machine. You're just like, you know, you're going out and doing like 6 to 8 proper descents every time you go riding, and you're just come back just full of excitement. So
and you mentioned you do double battery days, treble battery days.
Yeah.
You know, nothing beats, you know, you mentioned like Cade Edmonds and lots of people riding the e-bikes. You know, that's a lot of technical riding, isn't it? It's got to improve your skills massively.
Yeah, man, it used to be like I would, as I said, I'd ride my mountain bike. I mean, if I was riding it a lot, you'd ride it a couple of days a week, and you definitely get to the level where the skills are feeling pretty tuned. You manage to keep it upright quite often, but I often ride with really fast riders as well. Some of them are World Cup racers or ex-World Cup racers, and quite riding out with my skin some of the time. I'm not a competitive rider, but I like, you know, one of my favorite things is to follow a really fast rider, try to follow their lines, and you learn so much by doing that, and that's kind of how I kind of got to the level I am now. But I found with the Heckler, I've really developed my own personal riding level a lot, because you get so much chance to practice on the descents, and then also the climbing is it's one of the things I enjoy the most. Is really a hard fought technical climb to the top of a mountain. It's just like the best.
Let's say that Torridon yesterday was a hard fought technical lesson for me, and I was definitely wallowing trying to follow a world class rider, especially in that stepping stone area. But enough of that. Danny, I guess finally, do you see a future for you and e-mountain bikes?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as I say, it's something that I just really enjoy doing, and I want to find more ways for me to kind of spend more time doing that. I mean, I've been doing a lot of it in my own kind of time, but I want to find more ways of doing video projects and traveling the world to go and ride in all the cool places on the Heckler for sure. So, you know, it's like a natural progression. I still want to still be putting out great content on the trials bike, still on the mountain bike for sure, but you know, the sort of new world of the e-bike is definitely something that I'd be sort of proud to be sort of an ambassador for on my side, and I just can't wait to get out there and explore the world.
Wow, cool. Yeah. New frontiers. Now folks, if you haven't seen any of Danny's film, the trial stuff, the mountain bike stuff, and also the e-mountain bike stuff is amazing. Danny, thanks so much for great time up in the Highlands, and also just some of a chat. Nice one.
That's a great time.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Yes, a pretty interesting conversation that, Chris, I have to say, with Danny there. He was quite open about his thoughts about the future of e-mountain biking, for sure.
Definitely good to have him on board on e-bikes, isn't it? Good character and an amazing rider.
Yeah, pushing the boundaries. And as he mentioned, looking for new frontiers. Now, folks, if you're into adventure on your e-mountain bike, coming up in September, I think it's September the 18th to the 20th, is the X Enduro over here in the UK. It's a multi-day staged enduro race through some amazing landscape of the Exmoor area in southern England. Lots going on, Chris. There's a few different events going on over the weekend, isn't there?
Yeah, if you're early to that event, you've got that Thursday time trial enduro, which sounds like a cool format, and in the evening they're doing a night enduro race as well. So some night races as well as that big 110-kilometre ride.
Yeah, I think that's the main event. Certainly one on my calendar. I mean, beautiful landscape, great trails, cream teas in that part of the world, some mighty fine local ales, I have to say. And yeah, what all seems to be a great fun event.
Definitely, and as you said, that event's in September, but we've also got pre-registration open for that event already. So get booked up. Looks like an amazing weekend out.
Yeah, the Merida X. Chris, a lot of product I've seen over the past week. Hope we've got some new Tech 4 brakes, longer levers, different design calipers, industrial bearings in there, and claimed to be 30% stronger.
Wow.
Now, do you know what? I still think we're in early days for brakes. I mean, I recently rode the Magura MT7s, fantastic brake, 220mm discs on there.
I think with those bigger rotors, bigger, stronger calipers, and of course pad technology all the time's changing, it's going to become even better, isn't it?
Yeah. Now, it's that time of the year where some of us are coming into the springtime and others of us are heading into the autumn. E-bike lights. Now, I know you're tuned into e-bike lights, but these have caught my eye. These are the lupine lights, different range of lenses here, but also they're specific to the type of motor and battery on the bike, so you can link it all in together.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea because sometimes you want to go out on those night rides, and I'm forever, forgetting to charge my lights up, or you can't find your light. But these are literally wired into your main bike's battery. All you do, turn your power on, and you've got a light straight away. No drama. So yeah, really good.
Now, Pivot were one of the first brands to come out with a pretty lightweight e-mountain bike 4 or 5 years ago. But they've now introduced a less expensive version of the shuttle bike. Comes with I think it's a 726 watt-hour battery, Chris. EP8 motor from Shimano. 29-inch wheel up front, at the back.
Full 29er actually on this build, so they swapped that out. But yeah, the big news is with the battery on this, it comes with that 726 watt hours, but it is compatible with those smaller batteries, the 500 watt hour and the 620 from Shimano as well. So if you wanted to go for a bigger ride, you could potentially stick some of them in your backpack and go for it. But yeah, 140mm travel, full carbon frame. You mentioned EP8 motor, ticks a lot of the boxes, but prices are yet to be confirmed on that bike. But
I expect it to be 5 figures for sure. Now, Chris, this little mount here is called what's it called?
The half clip.
Half clip.
Half clip. Not the half, but the half.
The half clip. Now, I'm guessing this is to transport your helmet in between stages. So, if you're going to be doing the X Enduro in September, maybe this is something you should check out.
Just a nice little design for, if you're carrying like a convertible helmet, you've got that mouthpiece, instead of it bouncing around on your handlebars, strap it to there as you can with many other things as well. But 25 Canadian dollars for that.
There you go.
Right, Steve's been hanging out on the edge of a cliff in La Palma. Tell us about it, Steve. You've got a good video coming up, I believe.
Good video, but in a location which has been devastated by the volcano of September last year. Yes, been shooting up a cliff.
Hanging on the edge of it?
Do you know what? Probably one of the scariest things I've ever done.
Really?
Genuinely, like, get things wrong there and it's game over, basically.
Really?
But yes, we've been out with Bosch Trials Supremo, Stefan Schlee, out in La Palma, and we've got a video coming out how to climb cliffs. Well, it's not really how to climb cliffs, it's how to get the best out of the extended boost on a Bosch motor. So, trial skills through big rocks and, how to dodge death, I guess.
Sounds good.
And then on Monday is a video which I've been looking forward to doing for many, many years. Now, this is going to be 25 versus 32 kilometers an hour. European versus an American bike.
Oh, cool, on the trails. Nice.
Yeah,
look forward to
that. Really interesting.
I'll bet.
Really interesting. It's kind of a controversial subject, kind of not, but what's your thoughts on 25 versus the US, which have got a 32 kilometre an hour restriction on their bikes?
Personally, I think it is a bit too slow over here in the UK, so I think raising that speed limit up to 32 kilometres per hour would definitely be my way forward, I think. And I think I'd love to see that on e-bikes. Keep up, with the traffic and I don't know.
Well, folks, that's a video which goes into all the data and actual facts on the ground of 32 versus 25 kilometres an hour out on Monday. Well, where in the world is this? Well, I'll tell you, this is out in Salt Lake City, and it's David. David's taken a really nice video here, out with his daughter for her first e-mountain bike ride. Like I said, David, this is beautifully shot, crisp blue skies. Yeah, fantastic, just fantastic.
Does look good, doesn't it? And we've got some more action here from Utah as well. This is Ryan, he's got his Orbea Wild FS. Actually looks pretty muddy for kind of Utah, doesn't it? But he's out, first foray into e-bike, and I'm absolutely loving it. Looks an amazing place to ride that.
Yeah, some great action from the north of America there. Great stuff. And kicking things off this week, folks, Andy up in Silver Hill in Nottinghamshire with a minor.
Testing for gas, apparently.
Testing for gas.
Certainly be getting some if you were up there, I'd imagine.
White E150, 2022. I think that's a super nice shot. Moving on. I like this, Chris. This is quite different for the bike vault. This is in London Waterloo.
Yep, car, a couple of hardtails.
Looks like a Lion and a Land Rover. I don't know what the title is.
Taking a tour of London to the Born Free Lions at Millennium Park. So yeah.
Is that Jason Bourne? Anyway, I think it's a nice shot. Can't really see the bikes that well, but it's cool.
Well,
so the next shot, however, is an Orca Range by Steve out in BC. It's only going one way, that, isn't it?
I'd like to go up that rock. I don't know about down it. What do you think?
Well, I think it's a super nice shot. End of.
We've got a nice shot, very autumnal shot here from Richard. He's out in the Chilterns on his white E150 RS on a solo 35-kilometre loop. Nice looking bike. I think that's got to be another super nice from me.
Yeah. And then Matt up in Coilbrennan doesn't want to show us all of his Marin Alpine Trail, but what he does show of it is nice.
And the Robin on the handlebars?
A Robin on the handlebars.
Nice, that's a shot.
I guess that's the reason that the bike is as it is.
What are you thinking?
Well, is it a shot of the bike or the Robin?
Nice Robin shot, come on.
It's a super nice Robin shot, but I think this next shot is a super nice by Peps out in the San Juan Trail, Southern California.
Does look very factory, that with the Kashima and the
wheel.
wheel.
That looks great, doesn't it? What do you reckon, Matt?
Definitely super nice.
Super nice.
And rounding out the bike vault this week, we've got another autumnal shot coming in from Daniel. He's out in Tyrol on his Mondraker Crafty Carbon Art, exploring new terrain and getting into his e-biking.
Don't be shy, Chris. Don't be shy. Go on, tell us where it is.
Buckhacken. Buckhacken. Nice looking shot, that, isn't it? But very autumnal, and those leaves look amazing. As there's a blue sky, orange leaves, and a nice Mondraker. Super nice, right?
Super nice. And that wraps up this week's EMBN show, folks. Thanks so much for joining us. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to check out the Global Bike Festival out in Saalbach in June. Please come and join us there. We'd love to have you. And that's it, Chris, this week.
We shall see you next week. Cheers.